a Bahamas police force better equipped for the fight against crime. The Governor General presented with an interesting piece of literature. And a service organization donating to the future of the island.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news this evening, the local police chief is addressing the state of crime on Grand Bahama. As 2018 winds down, the top cop is commending his officers for their commitment in the war on crime. And he says they will be stepping up efforts in the year ahead. Italia Hall has the story.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Samuel Butler came to Grand Bahama back in January of this year with over 3 decades of policing experience under his belt. He says he is extremely proud of his team of officers in the Northern Bahamas who work hard every day with one goal in mind, and that is to make every community safe.
We increased our patrols, and yes, I am uprooted some things that may have been not the normal. Remove some persons from comfort zone of a desk job and actually place them to the streets. At the very beginning, it may not have been very clear of what we were achieving, but in short order, I felt very comfortable receiving response and feedback from our officers.
He knows that from day one, traffic control was on his agenda as well, and that campaign has helped to reduce the number of infractions on the streets. He says beefing up patrol in the business district as well as residential areas were part of his mandate, and so far the National Neighborhood Watch program has become one of their many achievements. Combating drug trafficking also a part of his crime-fighting mission. So far this year, there has been several seizures.
But we still have a concern about street-level trafficking. And again, our mechanism of identifying street level in the community is going extremely well. There's not a week go by without great impact of closing down the street corner drug shops. And so we're happy about where we are.
And for those who are concerned about gangs, he says they do exist in the community.
And while there are cell groups, we've certainly been targeting them. You may be aware of our key control group of officers that are dedicated to go to those areas and seek those persons out with our rapid response team. And they're out every day going after those grouping of persons who may align themselves with those kind of deviant behavior, criminal activity. And many of those were certainly touched this year and placed before the court.
But one of the major crimes of the year was the John Bull robbery, which took place in the Port Lacari marketplace in broad daylight. Butler says that incident put the entire force to the test.
We're pleased that our training has allowed us to be expressive and to demonstrate that we are more than capable. We are still looking for several persons who we've properly identified. We've known they've since left our country. We've been doing some good things with our partners in the international community. We've certainly touched at least one of those, but process of time will bring that person back into the Bahamas.
Now, overall, ACP Butler says there's not a major crime problem in Grand Bahama, but he admits that there are a few bad apples, adding that once the community is watching, the criminals cannot hide. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, the Ministry of National Security providing police on Grand Bahama with essential tools needed to fight crime just in time for the holidays. As Ramiko Knowles tells us, officers were quite pleased with the new addition.
It is an exciting day for the police force in Grand Bahama as the Ministry of National Security has provided some 15 new cars and 10 motorcycles to the police department. Assistant Commissioner of Police Samuel Butler expressing appreciation for the new fleet.
The police department, we're certainly happy and more than delighted that the vehicles arrived just in time. We know that the holiday season is upon us, and certainly we need to put a little more effort in policing and making police presence felt within our community.
Assistant Commissioner Butler says the Royal Bahamas Police Force is driven by the vision of creating safer communities. He says the new vehicles will also assist in that regard.
Certainly we look forward to enforcing public safety and engaging the rules of the road. We know that we've had several tragedies on our roads during the course of this year, and we will speak to those at a later date. But the fleet of motorcycles will certainly help us in policing and causing and bringing awareness to our motoring public to drive a little more cautious and to, again, obey the rules of the road.
Bishop Godfrey Williams of St. John's Jubilee Cathedral commissioning the fleet of new vehicles, praying for God's protection over the police force whilst anointing each vehicle. He says it is his belief that Grand Bahama will lead the way in the fight against crime.
Crime is all of our concern. It's not just the police, it's all of our concern. And I believe if every citizen from West End to East End, Central Grand Bahama, comes on board, we will see a crimeless Grand Bahama.
The bishop says now that God has blessed Grand Bahama with the new addition, it's now up to Grand Bahamians to do their part.
I am here this afternoon to say that I have reported for duty again. And I'm inviting all of those under the sound of my voice to do just the same. Come on, report for duty that this will be a crimeless Christmas. I believe it, I decree it, I declare it. It is so in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Now, the vehicles are not the only new addition to the police force. Assistant Superintendent of Police Teresita Pinder says that new recruits will also be joining.
Grand Bahama, on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Samuel Butler, we take this opportunity to invite you to the passing out ceremony of D Squad 2018. This will be held on Thursday, the 13th of December, 2018 at 3 p.m. You're all invited. Come, watch the celebration with us.
Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Police also telling us that a second suspect is now in custody in connection with that stabbing incident at a fast food place on Tuesday night. Reports say the victim, a male resident of Freeport, was involved in an argument with an employee, and sometime later he was approached by two men who stabbed him about the body. Tonight, the victim is said to be hospitalized in serious condition. Investigations are continuing. A Haitian man who was the captain of a Bahamian registered vessel, along with 8 other foreign nationals, appearing before the magistrate court this week on charges of illegal embarkation, overstaying, and illegal landing. 36-year-old Haitian national Jean Vera, a.k.a. Vera Borer, pled guilty and was fined $24,000 or 24 months behind bars. The charges coming after he was interdicted at sea last Thursday by the U.S. Coast Guard in a disabled vessel with 8 other foreign nationals on board, 3 Haitians, 4 Ecuadorians, and 1 Dominican. The group was heading to the U.S. The Ecuadorians and the Dominican all pled guilty to illegal embarkation and overstaying. They were levied a fine of $3,000 for overstaying or 9 months behind bars. For illegal embarkation, they were fined $300 each or 3 months. Early deportation was recommended. As for the 3 Haitian nationals who were passengers on the boat, they pled guilty and were able to pay their fines. Early deportation was recommended. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.